Hello, this is Christian. In this episode 4 of this video series, we're going to implement the boat and the plane and do a little bit of refactoring of our functions. So we're gonna do that here. Remember, this car is functional. We can do and and activate or interact with these features here. So let's go and then do one for the boat and the plane as well. So back in here, this is our vehicle class file. We're gonna create the boat and the plane in the functions here. So basically everything is going to be exactly the same as the car, and so you can just basically copy this, right? We copy this and put it inside the boat, and we will just do that for now so we can see how it works, and then just change these to boat. I'm doing here is, of course, is still not the best way. There are other ways you can make this a little bit better because a lot of hard coding in here, right? These can be uh, automated in several ways. So we change it to boat. This would be a boat. Then the variable here would be a boat. And I'm just going to change that to boat. And then also here show boat. And this also make sure it says boat. Okay, I think that's all we have here. Let's save that and let's see that the boat is also working. All right, so let's go back. Okay, I'll refresh, start over again. We'll click boat. Okay, so you can see it's boat and it measures in knots. As in car, it measures in mph. Okay, so the boat here, start engine is on. I start again, it's already on, so it works perfectly. I use a different knots. It's a notch, it's a two each time. Whereas the car is, I think, by five each time. So you can see, right? So they are working nicely and they are retained because you're using sessions for that particular object. You want to reach 0, engine's off. Engine should be off. Yeah, brake already. I tried to accelerate when I reach my fuel. All out, engine's off. Okay, so it's working beautifully. So now let's do a little bit of refactoring. So you see that this is exactly the same. The code is exactly the same. The only difference again is just the object name in here. All right, so you can see if you think about this, what if I create 10 or 20 different objects? Do I have to do this like that many times? And in a different video, I'll go back and come back and revisit this and refactor this so that we use a single function. But for now, you can see that this part is probably we can refactor that to I'll just refactor this part, okay, as a separate function, and we can return the object back. Okay, so if it's a boat, we return a boat. If it's a car, we return the car. If it's a plane, we return the plane. So I'm going to copy this and move that into a function. Maybe we'll put the bottom down here. And we'll call it function get obj for object. And then we'll put that right down here. Okay, so if we don't know what object is, I'm going to pass as a variable obj. And then this obj, whatever that is, if it's a car, then it'll be a car. If it's a boat, then it will be a boat, right? No, I'm sorry, not this one here. Yeah, obj will be the variable name. It's a boat, that would be a boat. Put it in here. If it's a car, it's a car, and so on. So this is, we don't really need this. I could put here a temp object. Right? If I pass in the boat custom here, it's a string text of boat. If session boat exists, if it is, then unserialize that, assign to a temp over a variable, and then return that, return temp. Okay, it'll be the temp object, which is again the boat object or the car or the plane. If it's not in the session, then we need to instantiate that object, right? So we don't know if it's a boat, car, or plane. So here you have to do a switch. So we do a switch of that object type. This is a string. And then we can check in there if it's a boat, car. Then we're going to say, we're going to return a new car. Okay, so same thing here. If it's a boat, then we return a new boat. And then plane. Okay, then we don't need this part here. Okay, And then this part here is redundant. So you could just say, okay, if that's the case, then return that. And then we don't need this line here. Okay, so now this function can be used for all these objects. Then up here, I just have to basically modify this to say this is a boat. So boat is equal to get object. And the object is going to be a boat. All right. So we got the boat object, and copy this and put it up in the car object. So if we replace this whole thing, and then just use car here, I pass in the car, kind of like the action here, right? And then of course down here, I can now copy this and put it inside the plane. And then my plane, I just change that to say plane. And put that plane here. And this would say plane and plane. Plane, plane, and then plane. And here too. So I'll see, you can see a lot of, hard coding stuff. So usually, again, you put this as a variable, okay? And just put a variable here, just change it one place up there somewhere, and then you just change it the rest of your code. But for now, at least this is easier for you to follow, to kind of see what's going on. And so once you get this all done working, you can always go back and refactor. Refactor is the key, okay? Well, the first thing is to make it functional. All right, so let's go and take a look and see if all these are working. Let's go back to the site here. Let's start all over. Try the plane. So you can see plane is working nicely. I start the engine. I increase it by quite a lot, one only. I probably did not include the plane default. Yeah, that's too slow. Plane should be really fast. But it is working. And the engine is off, and then I accelerate, stop. Cannot turn is at 1 mile per hour. Yeah, so that's working. The boat is, of course, it should be working, right? There we go. And I can't stop because it's running in the car. Okay, so it's working as expected, and you see that when creating this type of classes and inheritance and the class here, the code here is not really that complicated. Like when you create a boat class, a vehicle class, and a other class, you can see it's really short, right? It's very simple. The challenge is how do you apply these to a web page, okay? Web page, because now you have to deal with the DOM, you have to deal with the HTTP protocol, which is stateless. And if you are refreshing the page, or if you're moving data from one page to another page, how do you retain these objects? So that is the key here, to use serialization and a session to retain your data. Okay, so I think let me just look at one more time here if there's any other things I want to add here. Yep, so I think we're good here. And so if you have any questions, I hope this is kind of helpful to see you not just how creating classes and things like that, but really the application of these methodology here, these techniques to a live site like this. So any questions, I would appreciate them. Let me know. Otherwise, thank you.